If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Hello and welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele, right here on SABC3, where the stage is yours. Today on the show, we're talking career changes. So many of us get to a point where we feel our current career paths are no longer serving our purposes, and the desire grows to take the leap and overhaul your career and your life completely. But with the current soaring unemployment rates and recession, is a career change always a wise decision? Where and how do you start when family, friends, and fear are all saying, don't do it? I'll be in studio today with Jackie Jennings, jeweler turned doctor, Luyanda Madonia, dancer turned fashion icon, Tavaza Madavo from the Riversdance Incubation Hub, and also Mohammed Murad, better known as Mo Magic. First, though, I have Toy Uber, a career change coach who has first-hand experience with this when she decided to change her path after 20 years in a particular field. We are going to interrogate her. Toy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anele.
A 20-year mistake. Okay, wait, first things first, do you call it a mistake?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's one long life lesson.
One very long life lesson.
And what was it?
I was actually in the pharmaceutical industry. Started off initially because I love animals.
Okay.
So I started in a veterinary field and then qualified just to, within 4 years, realized, no, this is not what I wanted to do. I want to build career. So I entered the pharmaceutical industry, the corporate world.
Which is right next door to what you had studied,
Next
right?
door,
Yeah.
certainly. It definitely helped to enter there. And now it's amazing. It was within the first year of starting in the industry that I went for my first aptitude test. And for 20 years, I literally knew this is not where I need to be.
Because I was told that you literally went for psychometric tests and an aptitude test and a psychology test. You have files and files of proof that you're doing the wrong thing, and you continue to do it.
Absolutely. It was, these tests showed I could become anything from a hairdresser to a scientist to a helicopter pilot.
Wow.
I mean, it was literally, files thick.
Yeah.
And here's the things that all the tests never showed what is my passion.
It just showed that you were smart.
It all showed this is what I was able to do. This is what I will be good at.
Is there a test that tells you what your passion is?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Should you not know what your passion is when you wake up in the morning?
Not necessarily. Some of us, it's a journey to discover that. And especially that you find people who have this challenge of don't know what it is that, really what my passion is. Interesting enough is what we call the creative people of the world.
Okay, but wait, okay. But what I know from creative people is that they always know from a young age that they belong in the creative side of things.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Especially where you find maybe a creative person that grows up in a very structured, logical type of family. Maybe mom is an accountant,
dad
is a lawyer or engineer. And you have this child that's weird.
That wants to dance.
Wants to dance, wants to create, wants to explore, things out of the box, questions.
You know, the common thread with most of the guests that come on the show and, the celebrities and the people who've done well acting and singing and being on radio and TV, they all try to do something else. I studied law. Yay.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, I could have been wearing a pencil skirt right now in court, okay? And quickly, I think within 2 years of in studying, my parents are actually the ones who told me, leave everything else, this is what you're supposed to do.
Fantastic.
So who told you to leave the pets and the and the white jackets and the medicine?
It was a deep, lonely journey. There wasn't somebody to guide and coach, and apart from all these tests. So it was eventually a very deep spiritual journey. Because I got to a point where I said, in my case, it wasn't so much about what is my passion, it was more, what's my bigger purpose in life? Knowing that, in the pharmaceutical industry, okay, I'm making good money, but it's not enough to really impact the world, in a serious level. And yes, it subsequently became a deep, deep, intense journey of 4 years.
Did the money, the good money, because good is the enemy of great.
Yes.
Right? So when something is just good
Yes.
enough, you're like, I'm not going to rock the boat, I'm going to stay right here. Did that good money kind of keep you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm single. Okay.
Yeah.
The positive is I didn't have any dependents, but at the same time, if I don't bring in the money, there's not a second salary or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm honest to say the money did keep me there. But eventually, the discomfort became more worse than the unknown and the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And the fear of, if I do make a change, am I going to die of hunger?
Yes. Am I going to move back with my family?
Am I going to move back with my family? So eventually, that started playing a lesser of a role.
Yeah.
Because becoming so unhappy, desperately unhappy. When you wake up in the morning and you think, oh no, it's Monday. No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I actually have a friend who would tense up on a Sunday night, like at 9 o'clock, her entire body would just go like this because she was in the wrong job. And I was just like, this cannot be normal. This cannot be normal. You need to leave.
Yep.
So you say it was a lonely path because you were the only one going through this besides the test that you used to take. When you did take the leap, who was there to discourage you from it?
Family. People that were closest to me, especially family. And subsequently, I understood eventually that it wasn't so much because they didn't want me to succeed or want me to follow my purpose, my passion. It was actually their concern and love for me, but at the same time, because it stirred something in them, because they weren't
Happy.
busy with their passion.
Yes. Yeah.
And, their bigger purpose. So this is what I coach clients today is, when you start seeing that dream, you start sensing it, you taste it, be careful to not share it too early, especially with the loved ones around you, because it stirs, inside of them, and they don't know what this is, and they tend to lash out in inverted commas.
And kind of pull you back.
Pull you back, say, no, don't do that, no. So I actually kept it very quiet. I eventually, when I did make the change and it was too late to go back, that was only when I really shared it and said, I've made the change. It's too late now.
Too late now, it can't discourage me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something that we need to be very careful of. And it's difficult because once you discover your passion and you're all excited and I want to go, it's natural that you want to share it with people.
Yes, because it's like being in love. It's like being in love. When you're in love, you want to tell everyone. Yeah.
Yes. And that's actually the time that it's almost, like a rosebud that's opening up. If it's not opened up fully, you share that, people can squash it. And your dream can be squashed. So it's very careful when you share that dream and with whom initially.
I think that is such vital advice. That is, you agree, right? You agree. Join in the conversation by sending your voice notes with comments or questions to our WhatsApp number. It's on the screen right now. We will be right back. And welcome back to Real Talk. Today we're talking career changes, and we have a career change coach, Toy Hubert, as well as Jackie Jennings now joining us. By the way, Jackie, there was a major discussion as to how to say your name. Is it Jackie? Is it JC? Did your parents not want to put the Q
I made
there?
a spelling mistake and it's Jackie.
Oh, really? So it's JACQI.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way, but it's JACI, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's spelling mistake.
It's okay. At least you're not a teacher.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Joy, as a career change specialist, is it ever too late? Like, can one be too old to change careers?
Never.
Really?
That's the good news. Never too old. Never too old.
Is this the kumbaya answer?
No.
This is the realist
I'm being serious.
answer.
Why? Because I only changed when I was in my 40s. And looking back is the perception, how you look at things. Because you're not too old, because somehow looking at what you've done, it can all work together in what you're supposed to do now.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's what I mean with perspective. In my own situation, I learned working with people, I learned social skills, I learned planning, which, you know...
And if somebody wants to leave a corporate space, you know how to navigate the inside of corporate because you were there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Jackie, so you have done it all. You have owned a bookshop, you have been a jeweler, and now, what are you currently doing?
So currently I'm an intern doctor at Helen Joseph Hospital.
Oh, so I should have said Dr. Jackie.
But I also answer to Jackie.
My apologies, all protocol observed. So this is strange for me because usually it's people who are doctors and then they decide inside that actually this is not what I want to do. And then the uproar is always, after 9 years of studying, why would you drop this?
Exactly, that's what keeps you there, it's all that studying.
Exactly, but then what made you want to go? Because like I said, you owned a bookshop and you were a jeweler. Why was there such a double up for you?
Well, before that, I was actually in IT. I worked for a large bank for about 10 years. I did software and database administration, and I think the corporate world wasn't for me. So then I went into I had the jewelry store and the bookshop, and I loved that. That was great, but it wasn't. I didn't feel that it was enough for me. And I had always sort of the back of my mind. I kept thinking, oh, I could be a doctor. I used to throw that off. I could have been anything I wanted. I used to say those kind of things like flippantly, and then one day I thought, well, I keep saying that, but maybe I should try.
Yeah.
And I woke up one morning and I was 38, and I thought, it's now or never. There's a cutoff at med school. You can't get in, over a certain age, and I've got to.
Is there a cutoff at med school?
It's 45, so you can still go to 45, but you have to still do internship, community service. So that's at least 9 years, and then you're almost at retirement age. The state's not going to get their money back from training you.
So why didn't you just become study medicine from when you were, say, 19 or 20? What was holding you back?
I think I was probably a little bit too immature when I was 19 so I really admire a lot of doctors who at 19 they know they want to be doctors. I was I traveled, I wasn't really sure of what I wanted to do. I sort of liked the idea of medicine, but I hadn't done biology at school, so that I thought, well, that was out. I think maybe I needed more time to, in my mind, have the maturity to go and be a doctor, because I think the things that you're faced with as a doctor
require a certain level of maturity,
which I don't think I personally had. And I think a lot of kids who are 19, 20 do actually have it, and I think they're amazing. I've met incredible people that are half my age who teach me stuff every single day about life that I didn't go in there thinking, oh, I've got all this life experience, because actually I've learned from amazing people that have just got amazing views about life and things that are much younger.
So Toy, in your field now, because you are a career change specialist, which I didn't even know existed, but here you are, do you sometimes find that you are dealing with a client who you agreed that they should be changing their career, but you don't necessarily agree to where they're going just by having spent time with them? So now you have to advise them to be like, actually, I think this is what you're more suited on.
I know the very typical client that comes my way is somebody who actually doesn't know what they want to do. They just have a sense, the same in what Jackie has experienced, that IT is not for me. Maybe maybe this side, maybe that side. So invariably it's people who do not know what it is that they want to do. And then it's about helping them, understanding, discovering themselves, how they are wired, how they design. And then it's about, okay, let's then see what it is that you were made to do, that you were born to do. Sometimes they would have an idea of what it is that they want to do, but I must be honest with you, more often than not, it's again what culture and society has put on them, and that's what they want to do. But it's digging deep and getting them to discover their passion, to discover what it is that they truly want to do. And then it makes sense to them to say, okay, now I need to change to do that.
Jackie, who paid for your studies? Sorry, I was going to put it in a much more talk showy host, you know.
Yeah.
Did you save? Who
Did
paid?
save.
Because
Well, I did save up some money, but my husband was supporting myself, and I've got 3 kids.
Okay.
So he really at one stage did, and he has gone through a lot of anxiety putting 3 kids through school and his wife through medical school. So yeah, he's been a stressed man for a lot of years.
look, at least now, you know, his medical is covered for the rest of his life.
I can give him free advice, which he doesn't take.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just be lying there in bed and you're checking his
I'm
pulse.
like, you're
and
still
everything.
alive, darling.
You know
I'm going
what
to
I'm
work.
saying? And the 3 kids, medical
Yeah.
aid, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And so when you finally decided, was he the first person that you spoke to and you're like, listen, I'm scared, but I want to do this?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I told him, and he did look at me like I had gone crazy. He went, okay, darling. Carried on eating his dinner.
It's like, that's the last time you watched Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't really tell people that's because you watch Grey's Anatomy, you became a doctor, right?
But sometimes it
And
is.
you just think, I'm stopping that Grey's Anatomy.
Guys, thank you so much. I really feel like whoever's watching today and they just had a little bit of it in them that they want to change. I think you kind of shed the light for them and you've made it a soft landing. You know, you just like took the fear off a little. So thank you so much, Toy, for your time, and thank you so much, Jackie. Well, as we have heard, it's never too late to rewrite your script. Keep tweeting at Real Talk on 3 and tell us what's holding you back. Welcome back to the show. We are now joined by a young lady who, after having attended the National School of Arts, I tell you, as a dance major and trying to her hand in music, decided to pursue her dream of being a fashion mogul. She's on the couch to tell us her story. Please welcome into your lounge, Luyanda Madonia.
Hi.
Oh wait, so you're a dancer?
Yes.
Were you a good dancer?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. And then you decide, you know.
Well, I moved to Los Angeles
Yeah.
to pursue dance, actually. But my parents were like, okay, but you have to go to school. And because I was a brat, I was like, well, I already went to art school, so let me just go to dance classes. And they're like, we can't fund you that way.
Oh.
So actually, my dad found the Institute for Fashion for me to attend. So I was doing my dance classes, going to Millennium, and then slowly but surely just trickled away and then got into the fashion and music space.
Did your parents ever give you like a timeline? Like, you know what, if by this time you do not have yourself together, the
Get it
taps
together.
are closed?
No, they didn't. They've never given me a timeline for anything. Thank God. Thanks,
Would
parents.
Would you say that that's why then you're good at what you do, because you had that much support?
I think so. Without the support of my parents, without my mom taking me to the studio and all these places, from when I was very, very small to ballet classes, I don't think I would be as confident, as successful as I am now.
So fashion.
Yes.
But I mean, already you're pretty lucky because you come from parents who are quite entrepreneurial, right?
Exactly.
Walk me through that.
So my parents have their own record label, and they have always been in the artistic field.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, like, I grew up in baseline.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to kill me if they hear this. But when we were very small, we used to go to the reggae nights and go see performances or go to kippies. So I was already in that space where I could be comfortable expressing myself. I didn't have parents who were like, go to Wits and do law.
Yeah.
You know, so it was quite easier being in that space.
But because they're successful at what they do, doesn't that apply a certain amount of pressure to you? You
Yes.
who wants to go into kind of sort of arts?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. Having I don't have the last name anymore because I'm married, but having this Tole last name, it was quite daunting, and a lot of people also thought that I was just going to be in the music industry and work for the record label for the whole of my life and just run on their name, and that was never my intention. But a lot of people already assumed that about me, that I was going to be I don't know, a rich kid or something. I don't know.
Trust fund baby.
That's the word.
That's what they
you know why I
call-
don't know that word? Because I'm not
a
that.
trust fund.
That's why.
Neither am I.
So that's what I think that is more the strain that I felt. The people just like, oh, she's going to be whatever. But making my own successes, I knew I was going to be able to do it. Yeah.
So what was the difficulty in the transition? Because once again, I mean, I already highlighted that it's in the arts anyway. It's on the creative side. But there must be difficulty in moving from being a dancer to being a fashion designer.
I think the difficulty, honestly, is dance is my first passion.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't doing it all the time, it felt like something was completely missing within my soul. So I think that is the difficulty, that I think people are not expecting that answer. But I think that, so now instead of doing it competitively, I can now take classes and do it for fun. So because without it, I don't think, it would just be like really weird, because that's the first thing I recognized when I was 6 years old that I wanted to do. Yeah, so that was the transition, I think.
And you kind of feel like you're betraying your 6-year-old self.
Exactly,
Ne?
yes.
Because when the calling comes to you that early, you almost feel like it must be like that all the time.
Exactly. And then also going to art school, and still even now having friends that pursue their career, you know, having those questions constantly, oh, why aren't you dancing anymore? And, you know, it's like, you know, then you start remembering your 6-year-old self and you're like, why?
Why are you not dancing?
Yeah.
I dance at parties.
I do, all the time. I dance when I'm in the shower, I dance when I'm putting on my makeup, I dance all the time.
You are a trust fund baby, because the most of us don't have space in our shower to dance. But that's not where we are right now.
I'm just doing this.
It's like a little shimmy, like a little shimmy, little shimmy. So earlier on, Jackie and Toy made a point about, you know, when you change careers, because you can't unlearn that. You know, you can, yes, as much as you're changing it because you want to change the direction, there's certain things that you learned here that you can apply there. What did you learn in dance, you know, from your 6-year-old self all the way to National School of Arts, all the way to LA, that you found helped you when you became a fashion designer?
Discipline. I was a ballerina for many, many years, and then only did I do other different types of dance genres at NSA. And anyone can tell you, ballet is going to teach you discipline. You need to be able to be somewhere on time, or whatever goal you set, make it happen. There's no time to be lazy. And to constantly train. And the dance aspect is training, but in any field that you do, it's learning all the time. Just because you've now graduated from school and you've got your degree doesn't mean that you stop learning. And with dance, you're constantly training, because if you don't train, then you're just going to not be successful. So I think those two things, discipline and constantly bettering yourself.
Okay, so we've got a WhatsApp. Let's have a listen to it. Maybe you can weigh in, since you did change your career.
Hi, Anele. My name is Stella. I recently left my job, so now I'm studying diesel mechanic. How do you cope with the anxiety? And because right now I'm really depending on this thing to work out. So if it doesn't work out, I worry a lot that what if? How does one cope with the anxiety of leaving the job, a secure job, for something that is unsecure?
Did you have anxiety?
Yes.
How did you deal with it?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you need to have a support system.
Yeah.
Whether that is your friends or your family, and your friends and your family are going to disappoint you as well. So you need to have a support system, and you need to have a thick skin as well. And you just need to make sure that you're getting up every day and you're making it work. You can't sit there and be like, okay, I've left my job now, this is what I want to do, launch it, and then forget, oh, I have to market. I need to be out there, I need to make sure I'm getting things done. Otherwise, support, and then what? So also, I think you're going to have anxiety. I don't think you should beat yourself up for having it. And you're just going to have to find different ways to surpass that anxiety, whether it be just chilling one night and just like relaxing instead of constantly being on the grind.
Yeah.
Because then you'll slowly kill yourself that way.
True.
Yeah, so I think...
Because you're feeling so guilty that you're constantly working. Like if there's, no, I should be working because, you know, I have to make this
Because
work.
I have
but
to, exactly.
you don't understand that rest also means just,
Yes,
it
just
helps.
relax,
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people always talk about the income aspect, which obviously is a huge thing, but don't live your life doing your career that you want to do for the money, because then you're going to have a bad relationship with money and the money is not going to come. Open up your heart, open up your chakras and allow yourself to enjoy what you're doing, learn the steps and the money will come.
Has the money come?
Not fully,
Okay.
but I'm not trying to make my goal to that. So if everyone can just go and shop on revoltclothing.net, that would be great, so I can get this money.
Thanks for your time, Leander.
You're welcome.
Let this money come. Come on,
Come on,
yo.
guys, shop online.
Shop online. Listen, don't forget to enter our weekly competition where you stand a chance to win yourself a 5,000 rands e-gift voucher from At Home. A big thank you once again to Leander Madonia. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. For those of you who are thinking of starting their own businesses, this next segment is for you. We have Tafatwa Matavo, the SME Development Manager from the River Sands Incubation Hub. What does SME stand for?
It's small, medium enterprises.
Which means?
Which means small businesses that are within a certain threshold.
Okay.
The general criteria is looking at businesses that are turning over between 0 to 10 million rand.
All right. Now, I've heard this SME word being dropped where they say that the government does a lot to support SMEs.
True.
How does that happen?
Well, River Sands Incubation Hub is a clear-cut example of that.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
River Sands Incubation Hub is a joint initiative between Century Property Development and Jobs Fund, which is under National Treasury.
Yeah.
So that's basically an example where government is actually looking at creating platforms to support the development of small businesses within South Africa, whereby they're looking at providing services that heighten the probability of the business succeeding moving forward. So it's a sustainable way of ensuring the business is going to basically succeed in the
And
future.
when you pass that 10 million turnover, then they let you fly off.
Well, it could be even less than that. I mean, it could be a point where the business is earning 5 million rand turnover a month and they decide they want to move on to the next thing.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be 10 million rand. I think to a large extent that's dependent on the entrepreneur themselves and in terms of what it is that they want and the support that they're looking at getting from River Sands, for example, as an incubator.
So when you say that, to me it sounds like you make the climate, you know, great so that they can succeed. Pinpoint one thing you do. Like, I need you to be on purpose here.
Pinpoint one specific
Yeah.
thing. So I'll give you a clear-cut example of something that we've noticed. Financial literacy here in South Africa is at a relatively low level, right?
Yeah.
And what normally happens is that a lot of people are getting a lot of these accountants to put together their financial statements, but they don't understand what's in these financial statements. So our role is to upskill or transfer the skills of getting to know how to interpret those financial
Yeah,
accounts.
because I don't necessarily want you to be an accountant, but I want you to be able to understand your own books.
Exactly. So that is the whole purpose of an incubator, is to basically upskill you to a point where you can start appreciating all the elements that are involved when it comes to running a business.
Okay, so you obviously deal with a lot of entrepreneurs.
True.
This is your life. What's the one character trait you feel that all entrepreneurs need to have?
I feel the right mentality towards what entrepreneurship really is. Entrepreneurship is not necessarily about getting rich quick. And it seems to be the general mentality. I mean, let's make it clear.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship right now is trending. It seems to be the big thing. But most people are looking at entrepreneurship as this get rich quick scheme type option. Most people need to realize a lot of the businesses that are now big brands took time to get to the point where they are now. And there was a lot of hard work and sweat for them to
And
get
sacrifice.
to that point. And sacrifice, exactly. But now we've got a generation where it looks at, I want to be an entrepreneur. I can boast and say I am a business owner. And my objective is to basically have a BMW that I can show my neighbor and say, I'm making it. If that is your objective, it's not going to happen.
So an entrepreneur must be willing to scale down their lives for a while in order to get their baby crawling, walking, running.
If you look at most of the guests that you've had, they were basically saying the same thing.
Yeah.
That, look, the sacrifice I had to make, right, required family buy-in because there is going to be a lifestyle change. You can't shift from, let's say, being in a corporate structure where you have a month-to-month salary coming in to a situation where now you're responsible for basically creating wealth for yourself and for others in the form of jobs. And you think that it's just going to be all linear and nothing's going to change. Something has got to give. And a lot of the time it requires a shift downwards, having to sacrifice, sheds off the unnecessary weight, and now move forward.
How dangerous is the phenomenon in South Africa of tenders for what entrepreneurship is? Because I can go and get a tender to supply T-shirts to the entire province, and then I make, 20 million, and then I call myself an entrepreneur. Am I an entrepreneur?
There is a term tenderpreneur right now.
You're so spicy.
But to be honest, what I think is it's about sustainability. That's what true entrepreneurship is.
Okay.
So let me give you a definition of what a business is in my view.
Yeah.
A business is where you build an asset that basically you can sell off at one point in time. Yeah. Or you can detach yourself from that business and it continues to operate even when you're not there. A lot of the time with tenderpreneurs, is that necessarily the case?
No, it's not.
That's my point.
No, it's not. Okay, before we wrap up, when it comes to funding, you said something interesting. You said, if you're looking for funding, test the product out. Don't look at getting R1 million for a concept and you haven't even tested it.
Yes, so generally what's happening right now is there's the application of what they call lean startup.
Yeah.
You can't have a situation where you say, I want to start a concept and I need R1 million to get going. That's not realistic. Test it out with, let's say, 5,000 Rand.
Yeah.
The only way to truly test whether someone is actually in demand or your product is actually in demand is if people are willing to actually sacrifice their money for your product, not what they tell you. So try it out at a lower level and you slowly scale and build up. Nothing ever happens. You can't build a house without building the foundation.
And when it comes to entrepreneurship, can you just share the fact that, and I've seen this a lot, you're going to fail a few times. And I mean, people who have become successful business owners and entrepreneurs, I mean, Steve Jobs was fired from his own startup.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I just want you to stress to people watching that as an entrepreneur, you might only get it right at the 5th time that you open a business.
So you raise a very important point.
Yeah.
Our attitude towards failure
Yeah.
is really wrong. There's a lot of opportunity in failure. You learn how to be resistant, to drive. There are lessons that you've learned that you wouldn't have learned if you were just continuously growing. There's a lot of opportunity in failure, and we need to, as a society, change our attitude towards failure.
As a society, we need to change our attitude towards failure. I totally agree with that. Riversands Innovation Hub, incubation. How do we get hold of you guys?
You can go to our website. That's www.riversandsiHub.co.za, and all our contact details are there. Everything that we do is there, and you can participate in all our programs that are readily available to people who are either on campus or off campus.
Yeah, I think you guys do wonderful work.
Thank you.
Really. Thank you for your time, because you could have been doing something else. And thank you so much for your expertise. I hope those of you at home who would like to become entrepreneurs were taking notes. This is valuable information that we're giving you for free. But wait, you pay your TV license, so it wasn't free. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the final segment of the show. We're now joined by a man who went from being an electrical engineer to now flourishing as Mzansi's own David Blaine. Yes, he's a great pretender and likes to call himself the 007 of magic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk, Mo Magic.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Anele.
Electrical engineering.
Electronic
Engineering. That's computers.
Yes.
And you were good at it.
I qualified as an electronic engineer.
Yeah.
I worked in industry for 6.5 years and rose to the position of project manager and customer manager, one of the youngest in the company.
So then, what's this thing in you that's tickling you, saying, this is not you, this is not you?
Well, our guest earlier spoke about purpose and passion.
Yeah.
And throughout my life, I was trying to find myself. Growing up, my family experienced tragedy. My father passed away at the age when I was 3.
Oh, wow.
My younger sister was 2. So my mum was a single mum who raised 3 kids on her own, and she put them through to university. And when I was growing up, I didn't really know who I was. I thought I had to be a certain way. So as I grew up, I had this inner quest to uncover who I really was. And for me, one of the biggest things in my life is to be authentic. And somebody asked me recently, they said, if you had to look back on your life, what's the one thing you'd want for yourself? And the Shakespeare quote of, "This above all else, to thine own self be true." I want to look back and say, I was true to myself. So basically, I loved science, I loved technology growing up. I was the kid who'd break open the telephone.
Just to see what's happening inside there,
and then put it together and go, but there's some screws left over, you know. I was fascinated by science and technology.
Yeah.
And I studied electronic engineering.
Because of that?
Yeah, because of that. That took me there. And again, I did the aptitude test, and aptitude test said, wonderful. But Anele, I was a third-year student, and there were things about engineering I loved.
Yeah.
But inside, I felt that there was something missing.
Did you always know that, because being a magician, there's like a lot of performance to it. And I read that you said, you know, the point of magic is to delight and entertain.
Exactly.
Is that what you always wanted to do, to be entertaining people?
No, that wasn't. But as I grew older in high school, I was writing scripts for monologues, acting in plays, and I was a big talker. So I was the kid in class who spoke so much that the Afrikaans teacher said, "You will be reading."
Oh yes, yeah.
You know,
as punishment.
As punishment, and that actually helped me because it gave me, you know, I had the highest grade, highest score in Afrikaans in the entire school. But there I was, a third-year student, and I said, I have something missing. So as a 21-year-old student, I started attending personal development classes on the weekend.
That's quite like a big leap for somebody who's 21.
Yeah, it is, and I'm so thankful for that, because there I learned one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my life, and it's this, that we as humans have this amazing power to choose consciously the quality of lives we want for ourselves. And when I had that realization, I made an intention with an open heart. I literally spoke to the universe and I said, I'm ready. Please show me my passion. And then, Anele, you will never believe what happened. Within a few weeks, I was sitting with my best friend. We were working on our electronic design project. And he said, Mo, let's take a break. Put the TV on, I'll put the kettle on. I put the telly on, and I saw a repeat of David Blaine, Street Magic.
Yeah.
Now, I'd seen the same show 3 years prior and had dismissed it as mere camera tricks. But that night, Anele, and as I tell you this, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Every time I tell the story, I get goosebumps. Because that night, something inside of me shifted. I knew there and then that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to astonish and entertain people through the art of magic.
So what do you do then? Do you go to magic school? Is there magic school?
You know, I've got an elder brother who had kiddies' magic books. So when I was growing up, he's 9 years my senior, so he would do magic for us. And I remember growing up through school, I only learned one card trick, but I'd never found an interest. And that night, I went home and I phoned him and I said, please, I'm coming over to your place this weekend, take out those books. I went through them and I was like, oh, those are cool, nice, but I want to be like David Blaine. I want to do world-class magic. I want to, you know, make people feel good. And I went to the public libraries, I searched the internet, and there's a Zen proverb that says, when the student is ready,
the teacher will appear.
The master will appear. And that night, that was it for me. And it's been an amazing journey. Obviously, Luyanda spoke earlier about, and also Taff spoke about, you know, when you leave a career, when you move from one to the other, you can't just you can't just go all in.
Yeah.
Now, for me,
test it out.
Exactly. I mean, at 21, I discovered magic, and I knew that I wanted to do magic, but I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the experience. And if you think about it, let's think about it honestly, you wouldn't think that one could have a lucrative career as a magician, especially in South Africa.
No.
And when I started,
unless kiddies' parties are on the rise.
Exactly. And when I started, people looked at me and they were like dismissive, like, what are you doing? What are you're wasting time? But, and I think Toy said this earlier, when you've got something that you're passionate about, you keep it close. You trust the close people around you. And I had a vision for myself, but I had no idea that it would bring me to this place, that 7 years as a full-time magician now. Primetime TV show, traveling the world in January. I mean, I saw some posts of you at, you were in LA at Universal.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to go to Vegas in January. I met with David Copperfield, some of the other guys, went to Universal, experienced that. And if it wasn't for magic, the art of magic, as I like, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. This is...
Why do you have cards here? What's going on?
Okay, good. Well, I wanted to spread some joy and delight for you.
Okay.
But first things first, right? I'd like to do some magic with you.
Must I put this down?
Yes. Okay. I've got some money of my own, but do you have any notes that we could use?
Yeah, I've got, I think I had like 20 rand.
Oh, I like...
Yeah, 50 rand.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay, do I just give it to you?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You're going to give it back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just checking.
All right, so it's joy and delight.
Yeah.
Right? Now imagine, one of the things about magic is that you can create the impossible. Right? So watch this. We're going to do a little bit of origami here first.
Origami sounds like a spice, but carry on.
Yeah. It's the Japanese art of paper folding. So watch carefully. All I do is I take your 50 at my fingertips.
Yes.
And I fold it.
Yeah.
Now that's not so impressive just yet.
Yeah.
Now the note will never leave my fingertips. Watch this. If I just fold and blow on it, you see it start to change color, right?
200 rands. It's perfect.
That look on your face is priceless.
It's the best investment plan I've ever been part of.
There you go. Have a look at that. Check it out. Now, seeing as though, I think, I've got it here. Seeing as though you and I both went to Universal.
Yeah.
Did you go on the Harry Potter rides?
Yes, I did. That was amazing.
You like that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you know, like when you go there, our money's not that much.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I brought some dollars here. Right? I had some change when I came back.
Donald Trump.
Yeah. So that's 10, 20, 30, $40.
Yeah.
Now, some of your viewers may not have seen dollars, so have a look at this.
This is an American dollar.
Yeah.
Okay, I suspect that's George Washington, but who knows?
Yeah, there you go. That's a 10, right? Now watch this. Let's be honest. Aside from giving these away, because you scored there, you know, big time there. Yeah. If I could do absolutely anything with these 10s, besides giving them away, what would really impress you? Be honest.
If you can make them fly.
Make them fly?
Yeah.
Okay. You've heard the
phrase. But not hip-hop fly, just fly.
Okay. You've heard the phrase in the movies, show us the Benjamins.
Yes.
So watch the 10s. Watch the 10s change.
To hundreds.
To $100 bills. Usually people applaud, but I guess stunned silence is equally acceptable.
No, man. This was a $10 just now. Yeah. Empty out your pockets. What's going on
there
here?
You go. High five. That's why I did this at my fingertips so you could see it. And I clearly showed you both sides. Would you like to see some more?
Yes, please. We've got 2 minutes, so let's roll with it.
We've got 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this.
Guy. Yeah?
Okay.
Clap your hands. That's a Rubik's Cube.
The Rubik's Cube.
It was invented on my birthday, by the way.
1981?
Yes, 19th of May. Yes.
19th of May, okay. Now this is the Rubik's Cube, the object of which is to move the pieces so that by the very end, each side has a single yet different color.
Yeah.
Now, how long would it take you to solve it?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty there. Yeah. Now let's think about this. Now as an engineer, I could take the mixed cube, give it a few twists and try to solve it.
Yeah.
But that would take too long. But with magic...
I've only got 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, but with magic, watch the mixed cube instantaneously solve itself. High five.
Oh, you're not going to give it to me. The way I was just going to touch it.
You want
like,
to touch
no,
it there.
You're not...
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously people, when we live in an age where there's camera phones and there's YouTube, so obviously people try catch you out. Like for me, I like magic, so I don't care to see how you did it.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that you did it. How do you counter that when people are wanting to catch more magic out?
Well, my approach with magic is to spread joy and delight.
Yeah.
I in no means try and make you look silly or make you look stupid or challenge you. So my personal style and demeanor is to romance and charm you.
Yeah.
So out the gates, I tell you, I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
I've studied this. Let's go on a journey together. Let's have some fun. And if they want to join me, that's really great. If they don't, that's their prerogative, and I'm fine. I've got a healthy sense of self-regard, so I don't feel like I need to be on all the time or you have to believe what I'm doing.
Okay, so if you're not convinced, it's fine. Let me
to each their own.
Concentrate my energies on somebody that is convinced by it. You look very happy.
I am.
Okay, and that's the point of career change, I think, like for you to find your purpose and then be happy in it.
Yes, and I'm very thankful because I started this as a hobby.
Yeah.
And it now takes really good care of me. And you really can live the life of your dreams. Okay. There's something I tell people: do the best you can with what you have, where you are, and trust the universe to handle the rest.
And on that note, we will leave it right there. Thanks so much to all my guests, Toy Ube, Jackie Jennings, Luyanda Madonia, Tavato Madava, as well as Mo Magic for coming through to have this real talk as well as giving us their real testimonies to show that if you can dream it, you can really achieve it, despite the odds, even your age. For myself and the team here at Real Talk, good night. We'll check you out tomorrow at 5 p.m. on SABC3. I'm keeping this right.
That's cheeky.